Episode 15 on parental alienation. What happens if the parental alienation goes on unstopped? Typically, parental alienation starts with the oldest child. You may see variations in this, but typically you see the older child is the first one that's targeted for the rejection of the other parent. They're a child that's a victimized child. The other younger siblings are spared for the time being. But once this pathology is locked into place, then this oldest child and the alienating parent will draw the other kids into this. Because it has to do with the splitting dynamic. For the narcissist borderline parent, ambiguity is impossible. It's either all good or all bad. So if you are the ex-husband, you must also become the ex-father. There's no ambiguity. And so eventually, all of the children will move into that role of victimized child and reject the target parent. And so we get a situation where all of the kids abuse the target parent and cause great harm, injury, distress, and suffering to the target parent on the visitations. So the alienating parent has successfully manipulated and used these children to carry out abusive behavior on their behalf. The divorce has created a situation where the abusive spouse doesn't have access to their victim anymore. There's no means of interacting directly. So they enroll the kids to pass on this abuse and attack the target parent. At the time of the divorce, the narcissist borderline parent is full of anger and resentment, loaded with revengeful wishes. So we have a situation where the children are bullying the dad and causing great harm, injury, distress, and suffering to the target parent, all provoking a situation where the victim reacts defensively, and then they focus on that reaction as evidence of their victim's anger issues or the mental health problems, and others may start to believe that. And this is what happened to my brother on visitations. The children provoked their father to react defensively, and then they were prepared to focus on that reaction with cameras in hand, to later use in the courtroom as evidence of their victim's anger issues and their mental health problems, getting the judges to start believing that. And the judge had no understanding how isolated, ostracized, condemned, and rejected my brother was on his visitations. The visitations become such a hostile environment where there is the reporting of every fault, every error, and in my brother's situation, having it filmed by one of the kids holding a cell phone camera, all to sabotage my brother in court. So when parental alienation is let loose and set free, visitation time becomes so toxic, and the effects to the target parent can be devastating. And the visitations become something so bad that the target parent can no longer endure them. Like with all forms of long-term abuse, many target parents experience anxiety, depression, feelings of isolation. They can even question their own sanity. And this parental alienation can also damage other relationships. Victims can find it difficult to trust others, even those they had trusted previously. They might fear they're being gang-stalked, and victims can become angry, nervous, depressed, anxious, hypervigilant, and sometimes reactive. And sometimes these reactions can play into the abuser's version of the victim being unstable. So parental alienation unstopped can devolve into a lot of really bad situations.